Let me just start with an update on kind of the state of our team right now. The rules on return to campus for all students and faculty were to test, and unfortunately we had a number of positive cases that put us below the number of scholarship players that are available. Not only positive COVID tests, but obviously we have 2 players that have injuries that will keep them out indefinitely right now. So that puts us below the number. So in talking to the Big Ten, we canceled obviously the game on Saturday, and we're still unsure about how that will affect the next game moving forward. We'll just go day by day right now, keep in communication with the Big Ten, and give you updates when we have them.
Questions for Coach?
I guess Kobe was in here earlier, and he explained the comments that he made on the radio earlier this week. He talked about a meeting that you guys had. Anything more you want to say about that situation?
Yeah, I mean, Kobe and I, we did meet yesterday, and that's how I've always dealt with situations like that. Kobe and I have had numerous conversations. I have a great deal of respect for Kobe, for his career. He's been a fun guy to coach for the 2 years, and we just talked about a lot of things. And it's a learning opportunity, I think, for Kobe moving forward. As far as the things that got out, what was said. But for me, after that meeting, we walked out of there together, and we're going to move past it. And it's how I've always operated at any level that I've been at. And we'll move past it and get better. There's a lot of frustration, obviously, right now with where things are, but we can only go from here. And we had Trey back on the floor for the first time, and you see the impact that he has on our team, just with him being out there with leadership, with toughness, with a defensive-minded player on the perimeter. That's invaluable for us moving forward. But frustration level with everybody in here is high because of where things are. Our schedule has been absolutely brutal with the schedule that we've had to play. We've been very close on numerous occasions, but close isn't good enough. We got to find a way to win those games. So we did meet, and we're moving past it, and we're focusing on the next day.
How do you kind of handle, obviously you guys went through this last year, how do you just kind of handle the mental side of it? Is it more of like a here we go again, or what's it?
Yeah, it's not as drastic, because we last year I think we were shut down for almost an entire month. And this year, hopefully with the new guidelines, we'll be able to get back. Now there's steps that you have to take to get past it, as far as having a negative test, where then you can start the return to play protocol. And there's lab work, there's a heart test that you have to pass. So we're still a ways from getting past this, but it's nowhere near where last year. I mean, I think we had, after the shutdown, 4 days of practice, and then we played 14 days and 29 days. So it was a crazy ending. I was proud of how our guys fought through it last year. I thought we played some of our best basketball at the end of the season through very challenging times. This is one thing, you look at how this has affected our sport, obviously how it's affected our world with everything going on. So, it's something that's here. It is what it is. I'm thankful that none of our guys have serious symptoms. They're very mild with our guys. So hopefully we'll move past it quickly.
For watching back the tape, what are some of the specific areas where you saw Trey's impact in his minutes out there?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, Jacob, was obviously defensively, our ball pressure. Pickup point was much higher, and I think it affected the whole team. Alonzo did a much better job deflecting balls. He had a really good double team to create a turnover. He had a great steal late in the game. But Trey just being out there, and again, he played 20 minutes and he practiced 2 days. So he's a ways away from being where he wants to be and from where we need him. But you see the immediate impact that he has out there on the floor for us, and what he can provide for this team. And as big as anything is leadership. He's phenomenal in that area. He did a good job, as good as you can possibly do for a guy that was on a scooter, not uniform, that he can go out there and do the things that he did for our team. So, just getting him back out there is a huge lift. And, you saw it with Lat, went out there and just gave him a big hug when he got on the floor for the first time. So he's in stepping up, making that first three. Hell, I'd have shot that thing through the backboard if it was my first shot after missing that amount of time. So, just having him back out there is a huge lift for our guys.
You getting some deja vu at all with Derek Walker last year, missing half the season, play Indiana, shut down with COVID. Trey misses 2 months, play Indiana, shut down with COVID.
Yeah, it is eerily similar on it, but again, hopefully we're not shut down for a month this time. And again, we'll work very closely with the Big Ten on the rescheduling. I saw the women had to shut down a second game. They announced that this morning, so we'll keep in communication and see where this thing goes. Whether that's playing, I don't know how that'll play out. We'll again just keep in contact and see where it goes.
What are all you able to do right now as a team?
Well, the guys that are here, because we are a fully vaccinated team, can still come in and get work. And when our guys came in, I think we had 6 guys on the floor yesterday, and guys, today is really an off day for our team. So we'll get back at it tomorrow with a small group. It'll really just be skill work, individual work, and then hopefully be able to get guys back. But from a positional standpoint right now, we're very thin, obviously. So we'll just do as much as we can, continue to get guys as much work as we can, and just try to keep them in the best shape possible.
Not to harp on the Kobe stuff, but when you said something like that, what do you think of the accountability, the leadership structure on the team right now?
Well, I mean, again, Jimmy, the biggest thing that I took from that is, you got to come together, talk about it, address it, and move on from it and learn from it. I've been doing this thing a long time. I feel I've had some pretty good success, in the places I've been, and obviously it hasn't happened here yet, but I plan on it happening here. I'm 100% confident. We've been through more adversity in 3 years than you go through in a lifetime, and what we've dealt with since we got here in this job. So I'm confident in my ability to coach. I'm confident in my ability to lead, and we're going to get this thing right.
I know Denham's already here, and you had a good first impression of him. Sort of, what's been your feel on the other guys, just like the class and their optimism, even though it hasn't gone like you wanted this year?
Yeah, I'm really high on Denham, and again, tough throwback, talks, great communicator, high flyer. Even though he came in a semester as a freshman and an underclass guy, he has not backed down once. He's done everything that's asked of him. He comes in every day to get extra work in. I've been so impressed with what I've seen with him to this point. Matt and I went down and saw Blaze Kita play a couple nights ago, and he was phenomenal. And it's his 3rd game back after injury, but against a really good team at 20 points, actually against I think a Florida State commit, and it just was phenomenal, physical, tough. So saw Jamarcus when we were out playing on the East Coast, and loved what I saw out of him, especially with his shooting stroke. And then you see what Ramel Lloyd is doing out with Sierra Canyon. Has been the MVP of several of the early tournaments that they played in. So I'm very high on our class, and this is also, we're going to get Wilhelm back next year as well. And obviously you see he was our first big off the bench, physical, tough, you know he's going to do the right things, every possession be in the right place, and does a lot of little things for our team. And, he's a guy that I promise you can really shoot the basketball. So, I'm high on our future, our young players. I feel good about with the progression that they're making. And, you look at our numbers since we changed our system, which is pretty rare to change your system in the middle of the season. I just felt it was a move that we had to make. From going as a 25% shooting team, I think the last 7 were over 39. And, getting to the point where, our shot selection is much better. It's led to that. Now we got to, find a way to get the necessary stops, get the proper execution down the stretch. In the Indiana game the other night, we had 2 wide open threes with under 2 minutes to play. Unfortunately, they didn't go down. You got to make those plays, and when those shots present themselves, got to find a way to knock those down if we're going to get it over the hump.
With the Wisconsin game, and even I guess going forward, I know the rules say that I think 7 scholarship players, but I think coaches have wiggle room even beyond that if you don't feel comfortable playing. What's your threshold for playing?
We're under the 7 right now, Jimmy. Yep.
No, I'm talking about like if you hit that number, I think you can coaches can still say we don't want to play.
Yeah, well, it's all based on circumstance,
okay.
And your team doctor talks to the chief medical officer of the Big Ten, and then you put your heads together and figure out what's best as far as the safety for your players.
Do you ever think you'd be sitting? Sorry, go ahead.
Can you just confirm again? Did you say that the team is fully vaccinated? Are they also boosted?
We have, of the players that are eligible to be boosted, we've had 3 get their shots in the last couple days, so we are heading towards everybody being fully vaccinated or boosted. And those were boosters that were not eligible because of the 6 months, which I believe now is 5 months from the CDC guidelines. So we're in the process of getting everybody back to where they're considered fully vaccinated. But as far as getting the 2 shots, yes, or the 1 Johnson & Johnson shot, yes, our full staff and all the players are vaccinated from that standpoint.
Do you ever think you'd be halfway to your doctorate? Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry, I just had one follow-up, because
Sure.
I believe I walked in when Kobe was talking about it, how were the positive cases discovered?
Well, we everybody was required to test on return from the winter break. So all the players had to do a saliva test, which is PCR, and all the staff had to do it as well. So we had 1 staff member, and then the rest were the players.
Ever think you'd be halfway to your doctorate at this point?
And
You're having to deal with all the medical stuff.
With medical, yeah. I got a heart degree. I got
You got everything.
I got a COVID degree. Yeah.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thanks, guys.